So Babette Hogan is a film director, and she's in Chagrin for the Chagrin Falls Documentary Film Festival, and your film is
Running for the Mountains.
And it is about power and politics and the coal industry and climate change. And how did you decide that was the story you needed to tell?
The story, in part, forced itself upon us. We were actually originally going to be doing kind of a rompy film that was only going to take 2 or 3 years, but the tide did not turn for us that way, and instead it became much more serious.
When you say rompy,
yeah, it was going to be, we originally started with a movie called Seriously Green, which was looking at all the greenwashing.
Okay.
And when we were looking for electoral candidates who were talking seriously about green issues and implementing that, and we came upon Jesse Johnson, who had come out to California for a conference, and he said, if you really want to know about environmentalism and what's going on, you got to come to West Virginia. And we said, well, okay, let's go to West Virginia. I've never been. I don't know what the heck West Virginia is about. Yes, take me there. Give me a reason. So in 2008, this is a long arced project.
Yeah, wow.
We went out there, and it was pretty palpable, the kind of politics that is being practiced there. One that is about personal, and here we have a dog. Hi. So we went to West Virginia to see what Jesse was talking about, and it became pretty clear very quickly that things were so serious there. And we were asked to basically help tell the story, because the story wasn't being told within the state nor without the state. West Virginia had become this sort of forgotten zone of exploitative extraction and of big money and of very little people power, because everybody has to work 2 or 3 jobs to survive, and few people are rich there.
Yes.
And it's not spread about. And when you see, over the course of the years that we were there, when you see a capital city go from something that has some vibrancy to being absolutely dead, you know something's wrong. That's the capital.
Yes.
So it was a story worth telling, and we felt compelled to assist.
Appalachia and West Virginia in particular. And something I wanted to say to you, do you realize you're within about 2 miles of the borderline of opulent suburbia in Appalachia?
Yes. Well, that was one of the reasons why we wanted to come to the Chagrin Falls, the Chagrin Documentary Film Festival, which is celebrating its 15th anniversary this year that I'm here. What year is it? 2024.
1924. Oops.
Yeah, right. And it's a very special year for the festival, and I'm sure that'll get covered in other ways. But so it's an honor to be here. And we knew that it was going to be a hard push, because our movie is a political movie, and political documentaries are not getting a lot of play these days. And it's been an exercise. And I was very interested in coming to Ohio, understanding Ohio a little bit more. And also one of our subjects, one of the people in our movie, Jesse Johnson, who currently has 4th stage cancer, is being treated at the Cleveland Clinic. So it all
came together and made sense. How did you start your journey of being a filmmaker?
Sort of ass backwards, honestly. I was into journalism, but it seemed that my first job was in community access. I had to stay close to home. My mom was sick with cancer, so I couldn't come to Ohio, where someone from San Francisco would first have to go in order to begin their career. I couldn't leave, and so I took a job with community access, which was completely aligned with my values of making media available for people to produce, like you're doing.
Right.
And
so you're talking like cable access channel?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then from there, I did some freelance, tried to make a little more money than I could make in community access, and then started working a lot with health related videos and NGOs.
Okay.
I personally am in a lucky position of not relying on my documentary work for my living.
What do you do for a straight
For
job?
other stuff,
Yeah.
I manage property,
There you go.
which is, I think, has attuned me to deliver a certain kind of message in our movie that addresses, that helps to bridge the conversation. One of the foundations of the founding of, or one of the foundations of the United States was this idea that you could own a piece of land, you could have something, and it's, I think, deeply ingrained in our psyche.
Yeah.
And we're at a pivotal point where big energy is coming in, big industry is coming in, and without regulation, those industries can step all over our personal rights. And that's, I think, more and more people are going to see that throughout the country. It's going to come into your backyard, and that's what our movie's trying to tell.
Yeah. So on a climate change fun factoid today, did you see the meme making the rounds about the North Carolina storm frequency? Every 35 years there's been a hurricane with H named that.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes you wonder, well, if it's that rhythmic, how's it that rhythmic? If there's climate change, and is the Earth actually doing what it needs to keep the rhythms the same,
Well,
how does that happen?
Whether or not it's climate change,
Yeah.
the fact that there's chemicals being put into our common waters.
Oh, yeah.
That's my biggest concern.
Oh, cool.
That's my biggest concern, is that we are all getting more and more toxic everywhere we go, and that is not natural, and that is going to cause greater levels of cancer, just as our movie shows that whereas Ohio is within the belt of the highest cancer region in the United States. West Virginia is a hotspot.
That whole industrial
Yeah.
area, the initial one that fed into the waterways and the
And so-
Mississippi watershed, sure.
So there's due cause to pay attention to. Water is the most precious commodity, and future wars are going to be fought over water.
Well, and
So-
they've said this about Lake Erie and about the other states taking the Great Lakes water. That's been an issue that I've heard about my entire life is, are we going to have to share all our water with Arizona, and things like that. And I mean, it's almost...
We can build gas pipelines, it seems, with no problem.
Yes.
But maybe water pipelines
would
should be a priority.
Yeah.
So that places that have too much water can bring it to places that have less water. But there has to be a whole, both regional and country sort of ethos about the value of water. And if we're polluting our water, we're just killing it before we even get the chance to have that conversation.
Now in California, that's a major issue with the Colorado River and the rights over the water for the Colorado River.
I think it hits Arizona and New Mexico more.
Okay.
Those are real deserts.
Okay.
We have desert parts, but we have a lot of our own water traditionally. We have water rights issues that I personally think we need to reevaluate water rights, because it's grandfathered in such a way that it's exploited.
Yeah.
Financially. And that's not part of the commons. For me, there's certain things that are the commons. Water are the commons.
Well, without, what are we, 70% water? Is that what you hear?
We got 92.
92%, my gosh. All right, so we obviously do need
Water.
Everybody needs it, so. Well, I'm glad to have had this brush with a person, a filmmaker come into town, and an event that I love watching the energy of our city buzzing about for several days. So I hope you got lots of good exposure and made some good connections.
Thank you.
And maybe 3 people will watch our video and check out your movie.
Yeah, there you go.
3 more.
Please watch.
Thank you very much. Thanks for watching Cleveland Live Music. If you like staring into the sun with me, hit the subscribe button. There's Patreon and GoFundMe information in the video descriptions. Thanks for the support, and thanks for making the channel grow.